Two men were arrested on charges of establishing an unlawful secret police station in New York City on behalf of the Chinese government. That's right. Authorities add about 36 officers with China's National Police Force were charged with using social media to harass and silence protesters and free thinkers. Well, here, the U.S. this week's arrest now raises concerns worldwide in cities like London, Tokyo, Rome. The list goes on. Well, here to discuss with me is the president of Legacy PAC, Angie Wong. Angie, thank you so much for joining me today. These secret police stations reveal the Chinese Communist Party's total disrespect for our country's rules and privacy. But what about officials here in America? Why didn't they know about it, or did they and no one want to do anything about it? Walk us through this.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on today. So the Chinese American community has known about a secret Chinese police force in the Chinatowns across the U.S. for quite some time now. It has been reported in earlier decades that their existence was here. And they're under the disguise of, we're here to offer public administration support on behalf of the Chinese government. So renewing driver's licenses, passports, almost acting as like a secret embassy. So that's how they got in. Amongst Chinese American communities, we've kind of known about this. And we were very scared about it because, beyond their administrative duties, we were afraid that they were tracking dissidents and harassing them, as you earlier reported. But unfortunately, what we're also learning is that this doesn't just happen here in the U.S. There in multiple Chinatowns around the world, you're going to see the secret Chinese police stations pretty much in any town that has a large Chinese community.
Yeah, and of course, China is denying that they have these overseas police stations. Like you just said, these buildings, or these police stations, you call them, they were for, driver's licenses and dealing with overseas matters. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin said there's no such thing, and it says it's all political manipulation. But, obviously they've been growing worldwide. But how do these police stations operate? Aside from silencing information on social media and silencing free thinkers, what else could they be doing here?
Right. So unfortunately, it was probably Americans that taught them how to do this, because if you know, NYPD is also in London and stationed outside of the US. So it was Americans that taught them this is how we do things. Whenever there is a large population of citizens outside of their home country, we tend to have some sort of monitoring and policing for those citizens. So this is not something that only the Chinese do. We do it as well, especially here in New York. We have NYPD, again, stationed outside of the U.S. And I think we reported before that the FBI does the same thing. So we've actually perhaps trained and taught the Chinese how to do it. What I found really funny was that the U.S. District Attorney of the Eastern District in New York, Brian Peace, said today, now just imagine the NYPD having an undeclared secret police station in Beijing. Well, who's to say that we're not already there? So, it is thinkable. This is the world that we live in. We have a lot of people who travel, and a lot of people who station themselves and live outside of their home countries. And, they are under this type of scrutiny, especially something in China, where having the police spy on their citizens is just the normality of being a Chinese citizen.
Right. It's just a matter of taking notes here in the U.S., watching our every move and just copying us again. Now, will there be more of an effort to investigate these police stations? Or, I know the FBI prioritizes parents at schools as domestic terrorists. So is this just not on the FBI's priority list right now, or will more be done?
Well, I think they both know of each other, right? So they both know of each other's existence and they play with each other. Anti-China is a very, very hot topic right now. So I think there will be some scrutiny and some attention and prioritizing to investigate what these stations are actually doing. They are probably promoting just some basic public administration help, but what are they actually doing? And we have, I think they will be looked at a little bit more in depth now as to what data they're collecting and who they're contacting. The arrest of these two men, Liu Zhangwang and Chen Jinping, I'm sure they will be questioned as to what they've been doing over the years. I imagine they are here as American citizens or sponsored by the U.S. government somehow via visas. They at some point have a duty here. And so we'll see what that comes about. But ultimately, it is intelligence gathering. And I think that the U.S. attorneys should be very aware of that and what they're doing with that data. Who are they outsourcing it to? That's my concern. Where is this data going to? And I think that is something worth investigating.
Absolutely. I think a lot of Americans are concerned for their safety, and China is certainly watching. So we will see how this plays out. I just hope the media doesn't cover this one up as well. It's great to be with you. President of Legacy PAC, Angie Wong, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in